Okay, so reading today. We're going to start our new reading unit. We're doing writing first. We're going to start something new in writing. You should be open in your writer's notebook to the second page. We're going to do something different on the first page on Wednesday. I want you on the second page. So you might be wondering, well, Miss E, what do you mean by the second page? In your writer's notebook, thanks for letting me use this, Addie. When you open it up, you have the inside of the front cover. This is your first page. Then if you flip it, this is your second page. We write on the front and the back of each of our pages. So this is your second page. So this is what you should be open to. Thanks, Addie. At the top, I would like you to write, and I think returning students, you did this with Mrs. Wells a little bit.
Oh, yep.
And today's date.
Oh, picture of the day.
Picture of the day. Yep. At the top, you're writing picture of the day and 11-2-20.
Do you want us to write picture of the day also, or just?
Yes. Title it picture of the day and today's date.
Do you want us to put it on the back of the first page?
Yes, the back of the first page. Nice job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote 11-2-10.
Probably should change it to 20.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh. When she does it, you'll maybe remember it better.
Ready to rock. Ready to rock. All right, so we're going to go over, as a reminder, what we do for picture of the day. I know a lot of you have done it, but my new students, you guys haven't done this before. We're going to start by first, we need to talk about two words. So, we need to talk about, nope.
Oh.
Observation and an inference.
Do I have to write this down?
Yes, write this down. So you can do it just like I did. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a line between them. Not a big line. Don't go all the way down on your paper because we're going to actually be doing some observations and inferences. But a little line to separate the two. And Jack, you just let me know if you ever can't see, okay? Because I know this might block it a little bit. That didn't work. Okay. Observation and inference.
Inference?
Yeah. I need a new blue marker. Observation and inference. Put a thumbs up on your desk when you have all this written down so far. Awesome. Yeah, that way your arm doesn't get tired. Thank you, Layla. Thank you, Elena, and Allison, and Emmy, and Senna, and Will, and Max, and Michael, and Frankie. I know. And Grayson, Eosius, Chanel, Mackenzie, awesome. Jack P, Addie, Drew, Richie, Jack L, Grayson. Anyone else still writing?
No.
Okay. So, observation versus inference. I want you to think for a moment. I think most of us have heard of the word observation before, right?
Yep.
How many of you have heard of inference? At least heard the word. Okay. How many of you know what an inference is? Okay. What I'd like you to do is you're going to turn and talk. And I'm going to tell you, because you're all in new seats, who you should be turning and talking with. So when I say turn and talk, this is the person you always turn and talk to. So Jack, L, and Addie, you guys turn and talk. Drew and Elena, you two turn and talk. Allison and Frankie, you turn and talk. And then Emmy, Layla, and Michael, you three turn and talk. Or actually, no, I'm wrong. Layla and Michael, you turn and talk. Emmy and Chanel, Richie and Zoe, Eosius and Grayson, Max and Senna. And then Philip, you turn and talk with Jack P. And then Will and Mackenzie. So you are going to turn and talk with the person next to you. if someone were to ask you, like, hey, Addie, what's an observation? Or, hey, Drew, what's an inference? What would you tell them? Turn and talk.
Is that Richie or Chanel?
Let's see.
Is that Richie or Chanel? What?
Let's see.
Yeah.
What?
Tomorrow.
He's talking about.
All right, let's start with observation. I think that one's a little easier. What's an observation? What is an observation? Drew?
Something that you observe.
Something you observe? I like that. But yes, I was just going to say, what does observe mean? I know you know what it means. What does that mean? Max?
Like you see something, you notice something, or
You describe something.
Yeah. Exactly. An observation,
Describe what you see.
it's something you see with your eyes. So underneath observation, something you can see. I'm going to underline see with your eyes.
Can we just write something you can see?
No. And I'll explain why after we talk about an inference. Something you can see with your eyes.
Something you can see is a noun.
Something you can see with your eyes. Awesome. Thumbs up when you have this written down. Yeah, so like when Drew said it's something you can observe, he meant something you can see with your eyes. So like right now, I can observe that Layla is wearing a navy mask. I can observe that Richie is wearing glasses. I can observe that I have a silver ring on my finger. I can observe that Jack is holding a pencil right now. Those are things I can see with my eyes.
I can observe.
The two Jacks.
I can observe.
So, ready to rock? Ready to rock? Whenever, back row, whenever we talk about an observation, we will start it with I observe that.
I observe.
Or I observe. Yes, please write that. So orange is not a good color?
No, how can you not see it? It's just a reflection on the.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Is that better?
I'm not gonna guess your pain.
Wait, I want to see
Yeah.
the thing.
No, Richie, in your seat.
It's just in the back.
Yep, so I observe that. Now, I would accept I observe as well if you didn't include that. But I want you to include it when we're writing it down on this page. Yes, because that dot 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 represents your yeah, you keep writing. So you fill in the sentence. Yep. I will. So then, ready to rock. If an observation is something you can see with your eyes, what is an inference? What do we think an inference is? What do you think it is? Zoe?
I put my hand down at the last second.
Yeah, you did. Allison?
It's like a guess.
Like a guess, kind of. Who can give me you're on the right track. Who can give me something else? Layla?
Something that you can't see with your eyes.
Not necessarily. I like what you're thinking. Not quite. That's not quite what it is. Mackenzie?
It's something that you think. So, like, you observe something, you can actually see what's happening,
Yeah.
and then you inference, you think, like, what do you think they're doing?
Oh,
Okay.
I remember doing that.
Okay.
As an example.
Ready to rock.
It's basically
Ready to rock. I love that you guys are really excited about this. an inference. So Mackenzie said it's something that you think. Now, do I just like throw out a random guess about something?
So you need to observe it.
Like the Vikings game yesterday.
Okay, can you say that again, Mackenzie?
You need to
Winning by
you need
6.
to have an inference. You need to observe it first.
Okay, your observations, what you see with your eyes, guides the inference. So here's what we're gonna write down for inference. Then we're gonna talk about it. So something you guess. Something you guess. After
Observing.
After an observation. You were close. And guess, I can't think of a better word for guess in this than guess for this. So something you guess after an observation.
You can put guess and air quotation.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I have one.
Something you guess or think. Yeah, I heard that. Well, that was good. Or think. Sorry, I just added in the middle. No, that's an observation. So something you guess or think after an observation. So then for this one, it's a little longer when we infer. So for this one, you would say oh jeez. I infer that because. Now, you know how we said that we need to base an inference off of an observation? You can't get an inference without an observation? That because, that's where you're plugging in that observation. So, I'm going to give you an example. You can keep writing, but I want you to listen. So, I observe that the sky is blue. I can physically see that the sky is blue with my eyes. But I could also say I infer that it is, I could say I infer that it is summer because the sky is blue and the sun is shining.
But it's not.
No, but listen, ready to rock. Ready to rock. Remember, this is a guess or a think. If we're looking at a picture, we can't be 100% sure what season it is, right? Yeah, so, but as long as I have that reasoning, that backup, I can say because of this, I infer this because I see this. That's an inference. You're using that observation to guide what you're thinking. So, in a picture, it's not going to say, it's summertime, right? There's nothing that tells you that. But if you're using an observation like the sun's shining, the sky is blue, so I infer that it's summer, you use that observation as your because, you got it. Go ahead, Frankie. Jack L.
Kind of like if you see someone in the city and
Yeah.
say you're like a spy.
Yeah.
And you want to see what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of have to look at their lips and kind of like think and see what they're saying.
Exactly. That's another way of inferring. Yep. Yes.
When is the last time you had grammar?
What?
When is the last time you had grammar?
Like a week and a half ago?
Huh?
Max.
We're not going to do it this weekend.
Like, for the example,
Yeah.
the sky is blue, so I infer that it's daytime.
Yes, you could do that.
Not really an
Yeah. Yep. I infer that it is daytime because the sun is shining. Yep. So what I'd like you to do, look around our room or look outside. Stay in your seats, but look around the room, look outside. I want you to come up with one observation and one inference. Remember, when we say an observation, we say, I observe that. When we say an inference, we say, I infer that. And then we say what we infer because, and then you explain why. Put a thumbs up when you have one observation and one inference. Thumbs up on your desk when you have one of each. And like I said, I inferred that it was summer. Now, I know it's not really summer, but that could be a reasonable inference. Thumbs up when you have both. Thumbs up when you have both.
summer because of the trees.
I didn't mention the trees. I could say I infer that it's fall because the trees are missing off the leaves. Okay, sorry. I'll stop saying them. Sorry, I am sorry, okay?
Wait, what?
I'm not going to repeat it in case it's yours. Okay, ready to rock. Turn and talk with your partner. Observation and inference. Nice. Good job. Cool. Philip, you should be at your desk. Right there, yeah. Good job. Do you remember this from last year, Addie? Do you remember this from last year? No. Pretty soon. Okay. Ready to rock? All right, so 5th grade. Raise your hand if you have an observation for me. Remember, these are things we can actually see with our eyes. Who has an observation for me? Will, what's your observation?
I observed that that's Mackenzie's desk.
I want you to be more specific. I observed that.
That's a desk.
Yes, I observed that's a desk. Awesome. You could also say, I observed that Mackenzie's name is written on the name tag. You could have said that too. Other observation, Eosius.
I observed that a water bottle is on a desk.
Yeah, you observed that there's a water bottle on the desk. Zoe,
I observed.
give me one.
I observed that people are wearing masks.
Nice. Jack out.
I observed there's. Oh, I have a good.
Okay, be more specific.
I observed. They're putting solar panels outside.
Okay. Nice. Addie.
I observed that Miss E is recording.
Okay. But can you physically see that right now, though? Or was it because I told you? Yeah. What's something you could physically see?
I see that Mrs. E's computer is open.
Okay. I observed that Missy's computer is open. Nice. Richie.
I observed that Missy's mask is not matching.
For the record, I'm wearing black, and black goes with everything. But you're right, it doesn't match. It does. It does. Yes, it does. Nice job. All right. I want to call in some more people, though. Drew.
I observed that Frankie notebooks has lots of stickers on it.
Nice. Exactly. Chanel. I want observations.
Oh man.
Observations. Frankie.
I observed that Michael and Joey have the same mask.
Yes. Nice. They do. You guys are matching. Ready to rock. Any other observations? Philip. Oh, I could not hear Philip. Philip, please say it again.
I observed it's sunny outside.
I observe it's sunny outside. You can physically see the sun. Will.
I observed that there are construction workers outside.
Yes. So along with those observations, if like there's someone in a picture, you could say, I observe there's a little boy. I observe the little boy has black hair. Something like that. Inference. Raise your hand if you have an inference for me. And this is how you're saying it. I infer that because. We always include the because. Who has an inference for me? Elena?
I infer that it's COVID because we're all wearing masks.
Okay. I infer that that it is COVID because we're all wearing masks. But remember, it is kind of like a guess, but you're informing your guess with an observation. Will. Allison.
I infer that on the St. Joseph furling that the picture of St. Joseph is drawing because it is not real.
Okay. I infer that that picture on the St. Joseph Prayer is a drawing because it doesn't look like a real person, okay? Addie?
I infer that Missy is recording because the computer's open and she's talking to us and the computer kind of.
Nice. I infer that Miss E is recording because her computer is open and she's talking to us and the computer. Jack L., did you have one?
Yeah. I infer that this is a Catholic school because we're wearing uniforms.
Nice. Nice inference. Zoe?
I infer that Mrs. NT was lazy this morning because she didn't match her mask.
Oh my goodness. Richie?
I infer that Miss E does not have Starbucks coffee because it is not Friday.
Oh, nice. Chanel?
I infer that you put the lunch ready up there so that you know what the lunch is ahead of time.
Mm-hmm. Philip?
I infer that it's going to be a sunny day.
Nice. Because?
Because I can see lots of sun.
Okay, perfect. No, that's awesome. Yep. Jack P.
I infer that
Okay.
I infer that it's going to be a full day because people are wearing jackets.
Nice. Will?
I infer that we're in a school because we're in a classroom.
Okay. Mackenzie?
I infer that it's fall outside because there's leaves on the grass.
Nice. Drew?
I infer that's going to be a warm day because I watched the forecast this morning.
Awesome. Allison?
I infer that the snow is melting because there's not as much snow as there was last week.
Nice. Zoe?
I infer that it's the day. I infer that it's still 9 o'clock because we know it's not. I infer that it's 10 o'clock because the clock says it is.
Okay. Richie?
I infer that in 30 minutes we will go to gym because I looked at the clock.
Nice. All right, Layla.
I infer that this is the classroom because we're being taught.
Yes, you infer that it's a classroom because you're being taught right now. Nice job. So here's what we're going to do. We need to get to the actual picture though. If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. So you guys, do you notice how we labeled, Michael, turn around. Do you notice how we labeled our notebook picture of the day? So, there's going to be. So, since this is our first day, I wanted us to take some notes. What you're going to do, is it okay if I erase this? Okay. You are going to, oh, 5th grade, you are wasting your time. You are going to make another observation and inference chart down below the first one. So that first one was notes about observations and inferences. This next chart, you're going to be writing out those actual inferences and observations. So what you were just saying to me, I observed that, that would go in an observation, under observation. I infer because would go over here. I'm going to be showing you a picture. And what you're going to do, you're not going to talk to anybody. You are going to start by writing. Yes, you can make this one bigger. You're going to be starting by writing observations that you physically see about the picture. Once you have a few, then you're going to start thinking about inferences. Once we get our chart down, Drew, I'm going to dismiss you to do that, okay? So get this chart down. What's your inference, Max?
I infer that it's time for snack because the clock says so, and also I infer that you fixed the clock because the clock was 10:10 when the bell rang.
Yep, I forgot to fix the other one though. Addie,
I have an observation.
what's your observation?
Like never mind.
Okay. So, you are creating a second observation and inference chart.
Wait, do we have to write picture of the day?
Sure, that's fine.
I have a good.
That should be at the top of your notebook already. Or at the top of your paper already. What's up, Richie?
Can I do my inference?
What's your inference?
I infer that Mr. Leach has a lot of candy because I went into his, because I saw it.
Yeah, because you saw it.
Yeah.
Ready to rock. Alright, let's have.
Me and Frankie have like
Oh, you guys really chatty today. I want to dismiss you for snack, but if you're talking, I can't do that. Let's have our third row go ahead.
But navy doesn't go with black. That's the only thing that doesn't matter.
This-
What's your favorite candy?
My favorite candy? Take 5 bar.
What's that?
That has pretzel, peanut butter, caramel, and chocolate.
Oh, they're made of
They're like salty sweet. It's really good.
Second favorite candy? Have you ever had candy?
Yeah, it's super good. Yes. I know. First row, grab your snack. Virtual learners, if you have a snack you want to eat, you can go ahead and grab that now. Yep. Fourth row, grab your snack. It's what? Oh, that's, I like those too. Remember, when you're waiting to get dismissed, going to other people's desks and talking to other people probably is not the best way to get your row dismissed. My second row, you can go grab your snack as well. Now, let's see. Frankie, could you get that light for me? Yeah, can you get that one for me? Okay. All right. We are going to bring up the picture for today. So what you guys are going to do, you're going to look at the pictures first. And you're going to write down observations you have. Imagine a smart board now getting sharper. Alright. Ready to rock. Ready to roll. Okay, so up on the smart board, I'm going to show a picture. Should we be talking to each other about the picture? No. You're going to start by writing some observations about the picture down first. So, ladies, quietly take your seat. Okay, here is our picture we're observing and then inferring about. Here's our picture.
I
So,
remember that one.
yep. So, here's our picture. So, virtual learners, you can pause this. We're going to write down some observations first, things that you physically see with your eyes. So, first, you're writing down just things that you see. I'd say get at least 4 observations down. 4 things you can physically see with your eyes in this picture. Yes, you should always be starting with I observe. Each time.
Dang it.
So you could say I observe or I observe that. So write down at least 4 observations you have, 4 things you observe. Then you can put a thumbs up on your desk when you have those observations written down. Thank you. Thank you for giving me a thumbs up when you are done with your observations. At least 4 observations. Yes.
This whole top of the desk looks so wobbly.
Yes, you want to make sure you're not doing that because that'll make it worse, okay?
What?
You can kind of do this a little bit with it. So again, if you do it, you're going to make it worse.
Okay.
Nice job. Looks like you guys are getting some good observations down. So remember, observations are things that you physically see with your eye, not things that you think, things that you see. Okay. Just give you another moment to finish up your observations. Awesome. Raise your hand if you have an observation you'd like to share. I'm going to write down 4 of them and then I'll probably call on a few more than 4. Raise your hand if you have an observation you'd like to share. Let's see. What can I call on? I'm call on everyone raising their hands. Okay. Jack P., what's your observation?
I observed a kid.
Okay. I observe there's
That there is a kid.
a kid. Yep. Okay. So I observe there's a kid. What else did we observe? What else did we observe? Drew?
I observed that there's a frog.
Okay. I observe that there's a frog.
Is that a water fountain?
Oh.
It's a frog water fountain.
Yep. What else do we observe? Emmy.
Yeah.
I observe there's water.
Okay. I observe there's water.
You sure?
Yes, I think she's sure. What else do we observe? Let's see. Addie?
I observe there is a hat.
Okay. I observe there's a hat.
I observed that there's a tree.
How many of you said I observed there's a red hat? Okay. Did anyone else say that you observed there is a child or a kid?
I said
I
observed that there's a
I am doing the talking. You can just raise your hand when I say something you observe. How many of you raised your hand, said that you observed there's a frog? Or I observed there's a water fountain? Okay. How many of you said I observed there's water? Okay. Here, let's make sure our virtual learners can see the ones we wrote down. How many of you said I observe there is a man? Anyone say that? Okay. Or an adult? Did anyone say I observe there's a backpack? Okay, there's a backpack.
water bottle.
Did anyone say I observe there's a water bottle? Okay. Did anyone say I observe there are plants
I said bushes.
or bushes? Did anyone say I observe that the boy is smiling?
No.
Could that have been a good observation? Okay. Could you say, oh, maybe you interpreted it as instead of like his face being scrunched up with a smile, maybe it's scrunched up because he's going to cry. That could be it. How many of you said I observed that he is wearing a blue shirt? Or I observed that the man is wearing a tie.
I said
Or a blue tie. Okay, so those are some observations. Now that we have observed, your job is to make at least 2 inferences. So 2 things where you look at it and you think, okay, I infer that this because of this. So I want everyone to write down at least 2 inferences based on what you observe in this picture. Again, your voices should be off and you can put a thumbs up when you have at least 2 inferences written down.
I infer.
I don't know. That's up to you to infer. Well, no, seriously. He's wearing a hat. Like, you can't completely tell. He or she's wearing a hat. So that can be an inference. We're not being rude. You're just inferring. It's a picture, so you don't know. So we're making 2 inferences, at least 2. Do you have a question, Philip?
No.
Okay. Please put a thumbs up on your desk when you have at least 2. Do you have a question, Richie?
Yeah.
What's your question?
Because, can we
Yeah.
shorten it to cause?
No. Cause is not a word. Because. No.
It's text language.
Yeah. I know I once in a while will say it and I'll catch myself and go, dang it, Miss E. You need to say because. But, yep, because is a word. Yeah, there can be a cause, like donating to charity is a good cause, but because is the only one. All right, voices off. Still have people writing inferences. Remember, you can write more than 2 inferences. You just need at least 2. Go ahead, Jack.
I don't even know.
Yes.
I'm so sad. Yeah, I'm for the
Yeah. Chanel just shared a really good observation with me. She said, I observed there's a teddy bear in the backpack pocket. I know. She caught that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why would you keep a teddy bear in the Illuminati confirmed?
Teddy bear in the backpack pocket.
He lives in Frank Asper's. Yeah.
So, I know some of you are still writing your inferences. I'm going to tell my virtual learners that today I'm recording our lesson for Picture of the Day. What I'm going to do in the future is, because you guys did this with Mrs. Wells and now we've had a refresher lesson, I will post the Picture of the Day in Google Classroom and a Google form where you can type out your observations and inferences. And you just want to make sure when you're typing them that you are typing your observations as I observe, and then you're finishing that observation sentence. And then for your inferences, you are typing I infer, and then typing what you infer, because, and finishing that statement with the because. So in the future, you'll get the picture, and you'll get a Google form where you can type your observations and your inferences.
Would this be a good one? I observed that there is a frog that's shooting water.
That would work. Nice, Will.
The same picture last year.
Yeah. So Mrs. Wells and I both attended the same conference, and we got these pictures as a part of it. And what's really cool is that her and I will talk to each other, and we'll talk about how your guys' inferences kind of get a little more complex when you go from 4th grade into 5th grade. And so even though you may have seen this picture before last year, this year you might be observing more things and having more complex inferences because you're 5th graders and because you've done this before. So, yeah, some of these you've probably seen before. All right, please raise your hand if you have an inference you would like to share. And remember, we're saying the whole thing. I infer because. All right, I would like you to put your hand down if I wrote down your observation. Put your hand down if I wrote down your observation. Okay. Let's see here. Michael, what's your inference?
I infer that the adult is resting
Because.
because he is sitting down on a flat.
Okay. I infer the adult is resting.
Yep.
Because he is sitting down on a what?
Platform.
On a platform. Okay. I infer the adult is resting because he is sitting down on a platform. Awesome. Another inference that we have. Let's see. Zoe?
I infer that it's day because it's bright outside. It's not
Okay.
because it's bright outside and it's not dark.
Okay. I infer it is daytime because it is bright outside. Did anyone else infer that it was like daytime? Okay. Okay, awesome. And another. I infer because. Let's have Chanel.
I infer the man in the back is his dad because he was watching him.
Okay, I infer the man is the boy's dad
He's supervisor too.
because he
Might be his grandpa.
is
Looking at him.
watching. Or, yeah, watching him. Okay. Did anyone think that maybe instead of dad, it's his grandfather? Did anyone write that? Okay. All right. Raise your hand if you have another inference you'd like to share. Okay. Allison, what's your inference?
I infer that the man in the back is old because his face is wrinkled and his back is bent.
Okay. No, that's totally fine. I infer that the man in the back is old because his face is wrinkled and his back is bent. Yeah. Elena.
I infer that the man is grumpy because of his face.
Yeah.
Because he's frowning?
Yes.
Okay, I infer the man's grumpy because he's frowning. Okay. Drew, did you have one?
Oh.
Okay. What's
I
yours?
infer that they're family
Okay.
because they look like they're bonding together, kind of.
Okay.
Bond.
Well, they're hanging out. It looks like they're hanging out. Okay, I infer that they're family because it looks like they're hanging out. Jacquel?
I infer that the boy is going to school because he has a backpack.
Okay, nice. I infer that he's going to school because he has a backpack. Zoe?
I infer that it's warm outside. Well, actually, no. Now I don't think it's warm outside because the grandpa or the dad, say whatever, he's wearing long sleeves.
Okay. But if you think about it, Zoe, sometimes when you have to dress professionally, you can sometimes only find long sleeves.
Okay. Well, I infer that it's warm outside because the child or
The child.
person is wearing
Short sleeves.
sleeves.
Yep.
Like, do that when it's warm outside.
Nice. All right, Richie. Chanel.
I infer that the kid is washing his hands because he's touching water.
Okay, nice.
And then also,
Waiting for voices. Philip.
I infer the adult in the back is tired because of vacation.
And does he look tired? Does his face look tired?
Yes.
Okay. What else? Max.
I infer that they are at like a park because, first of all, like any type of park, because it could be a water park or just regular, or because there's water right
There's a
there.
water fountain.
And
Yep.
also there's like a lamp post back there,
Okay. So
and there's horse, and usually
they have that,
sometimes
right?
they put parks in like an area.
And they have
that is,
cement
like, surrounded by
Yep.
trees or plantations and it.
Yeah, you're totally right. So I infer that they're at a park because they have a water fountain and they have like cement like walls and seating area, and there's kind of like lots of plants and everything. Okay. Eosius?
I infer that the boy might be doing like an outside activity because he has like a water bottle and a backpack in the hat.
Awesome. Will?
I infer that the guy in the background,
Mm-hmm.
he got back from work because he's in his dress.
In his dress shirt. Yeah, you infer that he was recently at work or maybe going to work. It could be either, right? Because he is dressed professionally. Nice work, you guys. Do we feel pretty confident about observations versus inferences?
Yes.
All right.
Who's empty?